Well, hey guys, I've mentioned earlier in one of my last videos, we'd be doing a June update. So here we are today, the first week of June, and we're going to put together a garden. I won't even call it a tour. Take a look at the garden and see how we're doing. Old Tex here is kind of starting to get tired on me, but he's still hanging in there, ain't you, buddy? Yeah, I think so. So we'll take a look. Let me kind of swing this around a little bit and show you some of the garden and how we're looking on that. Okay, I walked over to the edge of the garden. A minute ago I was standing over that middle aisle, but I just want to give you an overall look, and then we'll come back and talk about each one of these rows and beds and what we got going on. And but just want to give you an overall look and see what everything was. And like I said, we'll take a closer look here in just a second. And oh, by the way, I've got a colorful surprise for those that stick around to the end of this video today and take a look at that. Hope you enjoy that little surprise I thought I would add in for you. All right, the first row I want to look at, the first bed I want to talk about, are these potatoes. These are my Yukon Gold. You can see they're starting to die back. There's some yellowing going on there. I've got these two boxes, and if you watch my last video, Maters and Taters, you saw me harvest that last bed down there. So that was empty. That's empty now. So I've got 3 beds left that will be used by the end of this month. They'll be emptied, and we'll be replanting these beds with some sweet potatoes. And I've already got confirmation they've shipped. So I got to get rolling with that. So these are my Yukon Gold, and we'll be doing some more updates on that as we play around with it. Right across this little walkway are my squash. These are my, they're not crook neck, they're straight necks, yellow squash. And each one of these things, if you'll see, I've got a bed here I'm standing in front of, and then there's an aisle, and then there's another bed down there. Exactly the same crops. Those crops on that other bed were planted 2 weeks after this crop, this row. But as you can see on my squash, I've got blooming, I've got babies, and things are going to be looking good, I hope, here in the next few weeks. This week, for sure, we'll be getting some squash this week, I know. In fact, some of these are just about ready to pick today. But anyway, and again, across the aisle, and there's another row of them over there, planted 2 weeks later. And when I did my May garden tour, this side over there did not have anything planted in it. So it has grown that much in a month's time. So that's my squash. I feel pretty good about them. I think we're going to get some good crops from that. All right, this next row I've got right here is just getting started. This was not planted at all in the May tour we did. So all of these are my okra, Clemson, spineless okra, and I've got, well, I see some back gaps, so I've probably got 18 plants on this side and another 20 on that side. So we'll have plenty of okra now that the rain is let up and the hot weather is starting to show up. I'm sure this okra will be taking off here in the next few weeks. And we'll take another look at it come time for the July tour. Right next to them are my Roma tomatoes. These are my determinate tomatoes, so they don't get too tall. They do some, but it's time for me to string them back up, clip them back up to the trellis. I see some ones turning down in there. Lots and lots of blooms. So we're going to be loaded with these tomatoes. The wife uses these, the Romas, because they're so meaty. We use these and chop them up, throw them in freezer bags and put them in our freezer. Right across the aisle, which was planted at the same time, we have another 20 big boys, and these are my indeterminates, and they're a good foot taller than the Romas already. But again, it's time for me to clip these up, and I've noticed these are all starting to bloom as well. I haven't seen too many tomatoes coming on here yet. Good news is I don't have any tomato hornworms yet either. And in fact, I have not had too much of a problem with them in the past, so I'm hoping we still continue that trend. But anyway, these are my tomatoes, and they're looking good. Okay, my next bed right next to these tomatoes are just now getting started, going up pretty good, but these are actually my flowers. And I left this here intentionally. I talk about the woven weed fabric blocking all the weed growth. Well, it blocks what's covered up, but if you've got a hole in that fabric somewhere, you're going to get some grass. There's one right there. I didn't weed it, and I've got to get in here with the flowers because they were so late coming up. Grass had started coming up in the planting holes that I had. Here's a good example right here. So after today, I'll get in here and check this, get it cleaned up. You see all the empty holes here. I was planting and sowing flower seeds I had kept from last 2 years of my flowers out here. And I wasn't sure what would come up and what wouldn't. Again, grass is coming in there pretty good. But I've got the same bed of flowers over there. And what I've got in here is some marigolds, black-eyed Susans, some zinnias, and some cosmos. And probably the cosmos here on the end is the better looking of all of them. But anyway, that'll be a pretty sight later on in another month, I hope, in my garden tour. So hang in there with me. Now, boy, oh boy, these are the ones I have fun with. I'm going to do all 3 of these beds at the same time. This bed right here is my green beans. Down here in the south, we call them snap beans, but green beans. And right next to them is my canned green lima beans. Baby limas, I pick them when I don't wait for them to get mature. When it's picking time, I go ahead and pick them on the small side a little bit. But they do get plumped up pretty good, and they are excellent. I think we just had our last quart of these beans from last year's garden. I think we just finished those up last week. And this last bed over here on the end, these are my Mississippi purple hull peas. And it's like a Crowder pea. And I can't wait to show you these things in July. They will be tall runners and purple beans hulls, purple beans all over the place. So these are my 3 beans and peas. And again, just on the other side of Old Tex there, I've got those same 3 crops, the beans, the peas, planted over there, and they will be, they're 2 weeks behind these. So they're gonna be, I do that to stagger them. And if I do like I did last year, when I harvest these, I'll get probably 2 pickings, maybe 3 off of these beds right here. And once I finish that, I will pull these up and replant the same crop in the same spot for a 3rd picking. And that'll be the 2nd picking over there while this one is growing. So more on that later as we go through that. So as the sun is setting and I've walked on over to the edge, you see the garden there, and just past it a good 10 or 12 feet, I have this bed or row of my blueberries, and they are starting to get pink, and these will get ready in late June, early July. We'll be picking blueberries. This is a stunted bush I had to replant, so it's just now kicking in. But this one also is doing real well. So I'm real happy with my blueberries. And this time we're going to walk on down here on this half of the garden because I've got a couple of things to show you here. This last item down here is not blueberries, but this is my brown turkey fig tree. And yeah, there are some figs coming. There's a few right there. There's some more down in here. And every stem, every branch has got figs on it. So I'm real happy with that. Right there are my chickens. They've all adapted to each other. And I've got one happy little flock under there of 9 hens. They better start laying though, because they're costing me a lot of money trying to get a bunch of eggs. And my muscadines are doing real well. They filled out tremendously from the last video I had, and I can't believe how much they've grown. And those little bunches that we had of grapes, of muscadines coming on here. Here we go. Check it out. They're all over the place down through here. So that's gonna be my muscadines this year. And overall, I think it's pretty good shape. And now that I was finished up with the garden, I wanted to add a little color, so I thought I'd throw a surprise in here at the end. This is my lily bed that I worked on earlier on another video. Everything is blooming great. The Asiatic lilies are about 3 feet tall, those orange ones and red ones there. Of course, the bluebirds are loving that birdhouse. And the yellow Asiatic lilies you see there are about 5 feet tall. I couldn't believe it. I have not weeded this as of yet. I've been working in the vegetable garden. But again, some more Asiatic lilies here. I've got some small swamp lilies down in the front there, the yellow ones. And this thing has just been absolutely beautiful. And it smells great too because of that gardenia bush that you saw, or just briefly there in the front with the white flowers on it. Well, all right, guys. That, my friend, is the June garden tour, June garden update. And I'm hoping that things will continue to grow like they're doing. And we should be having a real good harvest if that's the case. And I can't wait to show you some more as we keep going. So right now, with the setting sun, and the day is done, and I'm done, and I'm going out to that porch swing, and I appreciate you watching, and I'm gonna have my glass of sweet tea. And like I said, I do appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching again.